that it's just one day out of the year. And we should celebrate love 365 days out of the year, right? So if you are single on Valentine's Day, self-love yourself. Go out with your other single friends, binge watch TV, or just F the day. Like, it does not have to be this big burden of, oh my God, I need love. You know, it's what you make of it. And I'm kind of in that mindset in my life right now. It's life is what I make of it. And I don't need anyone telling me what the future or emphasize this is how something should be because that's what society says. You know what I'm saying? Like, society says, don't eat that burger. But last night, you best to believe I had some Shake Shack. It was so good. I mean, Monday, I'm going back to like a 30-day of clean eating. Pray for me. But it was worth it. And I did what I wanted to do. And that, in a little way, is a little self-love. I may have had a milkshake too. I don't even know the last time I had a milkshake. It was delicious. But I'm just saying, life is what we make of it. We should not let other people determine who we are, what we are, or who we're going to be. Keep your emotions in check and just like, don't sweat the small things. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of rolls into what our topic for today is. As we know, it is Black History Month. And I was so happy to have the two guests I had in the first 2 weeks to kind of discuss about working in the industry, maybe the wedding industry, the bridal industry, the party industry, what the difference was for a man and for a woman. And since they both worked with me, I wanted to, have them on the show also to give my gratitude and thanks and maybe like a mini reunion. But as I was sitting down thinking about something that Linda said, and then something that DJ Royale said, Mike, woman, I am a woman. And I've been going through some hard times. And I had this conversation with my husband, and he was just like, I give women so much credit for the things you have to go through. And it made me just sit down and think, like, we as women, we go through so much ish, right? We not only have to go through our body functions, but we have to be the strongest, the smartest, the most prettiest woman at the head of the table, mostly all of the time. We, even for my household, there was a struggle for being the wife. And I just decided I don't want that title on me anymore. I am a wife, but I'm much more than that. Like Beyonce said it, I'm just not your pretty little wife. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just not. This lighting is killing me. I'm not. And it's basically like, oh, thank you. So I look bright. It's just that you had to screen dark. Come on, bro. I know you have glasses. Come on, fix that. Anyhow, so what I was saying is, as a wife, I'm not just a wife. And we had a little conflict in our household for a while about that. I got tired of making sure I was the one cooking all the time, cleaning all the time. Like, I wanted to do more. I want to hang out with my friends. And I know we had to find a balance. But society tells you, back to what I was saying about society, that you are now a wife and these are the things that you have to do. And it made me sit down and think, like, as a Black woman, why are we the most unprotected and most disrespected? And then that made me go back to Malcolm X. See how that all ties into Black History Month? So I decided I want to have a little girl chat with some of the Black women that I know that are different, but are strong as F, outspoken, different careers in life. But the one thing that I think we all have in common, without being bad bitches, is we don't take no bullshit. So I wanted to have a discussion on why do we allow society to tell us who we are and what we are going to be. But I also want to talk with the girls, like, how did we decide we're not going to let society tell us who we are and what we're going to be? Just kidding. real good. So let me welcome Jasmine and Stephanie. They probably was just like, girl, shut up and just let us in. Hi, girls. Oh, yeah, baby. I can't hear you. Oh, you looking very LA. You looking very LA, Stephanie. You're looking very LA. You're looking very East Coast.
Okay, where's the red lip today, Deb? I mean, come on.
Well, I wasn't all the members, so I couldn't, you know what I'm saying? I didn't want to be the lipstick bandit without all the members. But I wore pink.
No.
Excuse me, I'm being told you must turn your camera, like how me and Jasmine look. Your iPad.
Okay. Right here?
Yes, honey.
Oh, okay.
You are giving me, okay, so you're giving me, okay, you're giving it to me.
I'm loving the pink though, boo.
Thank you. Hi, Jasmine. Welcome to the B Show.
How you doing? Thank you for inviting me.
There she goes.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Jasmine, you're giving me real New York. You're giving me real New York.
Really.
First, before we continue, I would like to let everyone know that Jasmine is the person that edits my clips when you see them, because I can no longer and do not have the patience to do it anymore. And she is 10 times better than I could ever be. So let's just give Jasmine a round of applause, please. Women who are doing it.
Right.
Thank you.
And this is not your show.
Sorry, I gotta figure out.
And she's also helping Carl Kalange on his upcoming documentary.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. So let's talk, ladies. So I don't know if you heard my little monologue in the beginning. I was saying I was just sitting down with Carl, and that Malcolm X line hit me. I said something, and then it made me think of the Malcolm X line, which is the most disrespected person in America is the Black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the Black woman, and the most neglected person in America is the Black woman. We also know that song, that part is from Beyonce, so the queen. So when I said something to myself, and I was like, didn't Malcolm X or Beyonce say it? And then I was like, no, Malcolm X. And then Beyonce took it from him. And then I was talking to Carl, and he was like, why do you feel that way? And I said, perfect example I just thought of was like Michelle Obama, right? Okay. We all know about Barack, but everyone, when they see Michelle, it's like, oh my God, Michelle Obama. She's so respected. She's so beautiful. She knows her worth. She knows, she makes you feel like you want to maybe level up to her where she's in her success. But I was just like, she obviously had to get there. We don't know. I didn't read her book, Becoming, so I don't know. I know you did. I don't know if some of the...
I told her to everyone, we wanted to start a whole book club, and we told Deb to read Becoming, and she did not want to.
I didn't. I said, I don't want to do what everyone else is doing.
Go ahead, tell your viewers, Deb. Tell them the real truth.
I didn't want to. I have a problem doing what other people do. I was like, I don't want to. And now I bought the book for my sister, and I bet you she never even read it herself. And now I think I need to steal the book from her. But it just made me think of that. So I have a few things I would like to discuss. One of them is, do you guys feel that is true still to this day? That Black women are not respected, we're not protected, and we're neglected.
Is Jasmine chiming in first, or
go ahead, Jasmine? You can go.
Yeah, sure. I'll go first. I definitely think so. I think out of everyone, including males and females and all races on that list, I still feel Black women are on the bottom. And it's unfortunate. It's like we have to work twice as hard, and we're not as respected. And I don't understand why, because it's like, why don't people feel that we're capable or we're as intelligent, or that you have to go through the man first, where it's like, at times we are more capable than whoever it is, but yet for some reason they think they should go to someone else.
Agreed. 100%. Go ahead. Beat that, Stephanie.
No, this topic is...
It's heavy.
this topic should be spoken amongst like white men, white women, Black men, and stuff like that. I feel like we live through this every single day. I don't know, like yesterday was a really challenging day at work. And so it's just like, you always have to one up. You always have to, like the first thing, like let's say someone of non-color walks up to you or meets you, like, first thing that's going to come out their mouth, oh, hey girl, hey sis. And it's like, hello, how are you? Like I always tell everyone, like when I first moved into this house,
their challenges.
One of my neighbors, she pulled up and the first thing that came out her mouth was, are you the cleaner? She asked me if I was the help. She asked me if I was the help. Not like, hey, how are you? Like, where, like, are you new to the neighborhood? Nothing on me said like, hey, maybe is she the clean? Maybe if I had some cleaning supplies, maybe, or anything, nothing screamed out, oh, maybe she's the cleaner, Black women, we always have to go above and beyond. And if we speak articulate, what's the first thing they're going to say?
Oh, you sound white.
Oh.
No, I sound educated. I sound educated.
Speaking on that, they actually, a lot of times with the kind of, I call it like a reverse racism, is that because they said you sound articulate, right? They're surprised.
Yes.
Like as if when they think I'm going to speak, it's going to sound different. And they're like, oh, wow. I'm so surprised though. Oh, your mother did such a great job with you.
And it's funny you say that, Jasmine, because, in the opening, I said like everything to me is Bravo, because I watch everything on Bravo. Mm-hmm. And that was an incident that happened on the Real Housewives of New York. There's one Black girl and the rest are white. And she was talking and they were like, you sound very... No, she had an argument with someone and another white woman came to her and said, wow, you sound very intelligent while you were arguing. And she was like, what? Mm-hmm. She was like, the way you spoke was like, I listened to you. And she was like, I didn't speak any different than any of you would speak. And are you saying that because I'm Black? Like, why are you surprised? She's like, I'm a lawyer. Like, this is how I speak. Right. And she went back into, her own, what they do, like their... when they talk just themselves and her diary. And she was like, and this is something that happens all the time. Like when you speak with other white people, they'll say, wow, you sound so white. Or the way you talk is so wow. And you're like, and if I raise my voice, so that's bring me back to what you said to Stephanie. You could have been like, all right, let me be the angry Black female that you all think I am, right? Mm-hmm. But you held your composure. And so now you have to say to yourself, do I let her know I'm not the one and I am the one? Or do I have to reach another height and just, okay, thank you. I'm not, have a good day, ma'am. But then you get mad at yourself because you're like,
man, I should have said, right?
Yes, like, did I let them play me? Right? But if that was someone else, nothing, it would have just been like, oh, okay.
Right.
No problem. And
it's like that internal struggle.
Yeah. And also that goes to where you work. In your workforce, Black women have to break so many ceilings or to get a seat at the table where I was saying to DJ Royal last week, I know you're a Black man, but you're also a man. So it's a little bit easier for you.
Right.
We have someone else who's supposed to join. She late.
But it's a battle within our community as well.
Yes.
Right? And how you present yourself and I feel like our community is doing much better with like, oh girl, you sound white. Like, why you sound like that? I do feel like our community has come a long way, but it's another battle within our community as well.
I agree.
100%. Because then it's like, oh, are you trying to be better than us? Or
Boom.
you're trying to how you trying to act bougie now? You're not with us
Yes.
anymore?
Yes. And you know, it's funny you say that because my therapist said that to me yesterday. Shout out to Steve Harvey. Jasmine, when we're done, make sure we clip this part just to show him because he
Okay.
loves that I have a podcast. He told me yesterday, people call you bougie, say thank you.
Oh.
If someone says, "Oh, girl, who you think you are? Why you?" What you know what we say? "Oh, you look good.
Mhm.
Thank you."
Or
Thank
you're doing
you.
too much?
Yes, thank you. I am.
Or you're
I
doing
am.
things.
Yes, because that's a compliment, and that's them realizing you're in a whole different ball game and bracket. So thanks. I know my worth. Appreciate it. I am bougie. Yes. Hello, welcome.
Hello.
Doing.
We are just discussing about being Black women in the workplace, at home, in our culture, and how it's sometimes, well, not sometimes, Black women are unprotected, unrespected, and neglected. Bars. And right now we're just speaking on maybe some experiences that we have experienced. So if you want to introduce yourself and maybe say something that you had.
Hi, I'm Shani. I am a nurse, and I'm going to give an experience that I
You got a good one.
experienced on the job.
Sure.
So
the first thing I would say, sorry, not to cut you off, but
no, it's okay.
I know because it happened before at my job, and I'm seeing you with the braids. Please tell us some story. Yeah, look, we're all like, please.
I got some stories.
Yeah, especially with a nurse. Of course, you probably heard, how is that your hair? Did they braid it from there?
Can I touch it?
Can we touch it? Go ahead.
No,
Girl.
gosh. I mean, I've heard where hair is concerned, I have literally heard it all. But I remember actually before becoming a nurse, I worked in an office for 14 years, and it was actually the Black girls that came up to me, and when I wore braids for the first time to work, with that were saying, "Hey, Buquisha," and I'm like, well, why do I have to be Buquisha? Like, why is that? But that just comes from a long history of our styles, our culture not being accepted. So then we now don't accept it. And so as the years went by, that changed. This was maybe about, I want to say maybe 6 years ago. The years go by quickly, but I was taken aback. I was really taken aback, and it made me feel uncomfortable, but we have been so brainwashed. I feel like that by society, their beauty standard, and when a celebrity does it, it's groundbreaking. Ooh, groundbreaking braids, groundbreaking look. And when we do it, it's not professional, or, and then another experience at that same job, I actually started to wear my hair natural. So it's something new for me. When we were growing up, there was like literally no products at all. We were using mane and tail. No disrespect to anyone still using that.
Pink lotion. Pink lotion.
Pink lotion.
Wow.
That's a throwback. They were like,
yes, just regular grease. And so the experience growing up wasn't a nice one when it came to styling our hair. So I was very nervous about finally wearing my hair natural and getting it right. I was watching YouTube videos, and of course I didn't quite get it right, the first couple times. And it was, again, the Black girls. I mean, pulling up pictures of who I look like. I had some doctors come out to me and just ask me, like, so when you get out the shower, is that how your hair looks? Like, what exactly, like, and I'm saying to myself, they're in healthcare, so that means they have seen a wide demographic.
Yeah.
And you cannot tell me that this is the first time that you have seen somebody's natural hair that looks woolly and different from your own. Like, it's impossible. Almost everyone in the office made a comment that first time. And so
that goes back to you, Steph, where you said it's sometimes even your own sisters who can make you feel a certain way.
They were the main ones.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Instead of just, and you know what, those that were haters.
Yeah.
I mean, I was trying a thing, and you have to get comfortable with it, because remember, we didn't grow up styling our hair for the most part. Most of us were getting our hair pressed.
Yeah.
You know, or our parents threw a just for me in there or something like that.
Yes, because they didn't want to
Yeah.
deal with it. Yeah.
They
Right.
didn't want to deal with it. And our hair wasn't considered to be beautiful. It was considered like bad hair. Even our language has to change. You know, we say good hair, bad hair, nappy hair. You know, we have
Yes.
to change our language if we want them to change their language.
Agreed. 100%. And the
Yeah.
first thing you have to do is educate yourself, right? So
Yeah.
know this is not acceptable. If someone says something to me about this, that way I can educate others. I'm very big on let me talk to you so I can let you know what it is and what it's not.
And let me talk to you for a second. Type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm doing much better and like working through therapy. I don't have to respond to everyone and take up my
That's true.
space and my breath. But sometimes, like I said, Steph, it could be the right one. I could be the right one, or I could be the one. It all depends on how you bring
either
it.
way.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think women, all women and men, have a lack of understanding of Black women. Mm-hmm. So instead of trying to educate, like you said, they just go with the notion of what maybe they've been told by the homies or what they see on TV, you know? And I think we're doing a little bit better because of George Floyd, of educating ourselves and other people wanting to know more about our culture and accepting us, you know, but we still got a long way. We got a long way to go. The stereotype it's bad. Sometimes I get more upset when, perfect example, it's like, do you guys remember that girl that was locked up in the freezer? I don't remember her name. It was a while ago.
She died, right?
Yes. And it had to be the Black community that was like, look, reach out. Look what happened to this girl. And
Let's
then,
investigate.
Yes, but then you had that white girl who was in Long Island. I don't know if you guys know.
I remember her.
Oh, that was just like
national news.
all over the news. It's like, or I'm thinking it was just like all the women that we hear from, you know, that not Sandra. Oh my God, Lord, don't strike me down. What's your
Sandra?
Name? I was right. I was right. God, okay. Yeah, driving.
Yeah.
Right? Do you guys remember her story?
Yes, I remember her.
How did you feel when you heard that?
I mean, this is something. One thing I can say is that for sure, and I'm 35 now, but I remember as a kid watching a Rodney King on TV, beating of Rodney King. I remember that vividly. I remember this type of stuff that's been going on for a very long time. I'm not sure why everybody's now jumping on board to really talk about as a whole, the whole Black Lives Matter movement. I think we're tired. I'm tired of seeing it. There was just another video that surfaced today, I saw on Instagram, of a fight that took place at a mall. And this keeps happening over and over. It's not enough to march. It's not enough for a politician to come into office and say, I'm going to do A, B, C, D. We need action. We need to really, really come together. It's more than a hashtag. We really have to do like some other communities do and spend our money with each other. And money is power. Then when we could become more powerful, we're unstoppable. Keep everything in our community. A lot of people come here and do that, and their people succeed. You go to areas in Brooklyn, you'll find they don't spend money outside their communities. They have their own schools. They have their own buses. The police department is they have to do what the community says. They have to respect the community, you know?
Agreed.
So it's just, we're tired. Very tired.
Has anyone been watching that Netflix series, Inventing Anna?
No, but I've heard it's
seen it.
Good.
Okay, no spoiler alerts, right? But it's just like the previews. No spoilers, I won't. But I suggest. I mean, it's Shonda Rhimes, creator of Scandal, Grey's Anatomy. So it's based on this another swindler, like what's his name, the Tinder swindler. And anyway, it's about this white woman who like tries to act like she's a socialite, and like almost got away with a loan of $40 million, basically. But I thought, that ladies, that I thought it was based in like the 80s, and they just tried to like remake it to be up in times and stuff with like this generation, you know? It's based in 2018. It just happened in 2018. Like she was literally able to go into hotels without a credit card and just rack up like $50,000, $100,000, $200,000. Do you think I can walk into a hotel and say, I'll wire you the money. It's okay. I'm gonna just go up into my room. Never, ever, ever. Not one Black woman, not a Black man, and stuff like that. This woman and like this is all like in the previews, or I'm not spoiling anything, but comes from it nothing. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like because they thought she was of status, you know, like some rich, you know, rich white woman, that she was able to get away with things like this. And it's just like we would never be able to do, you know? And it's just we need more allies. Honestly, we need more allies. We need people standing up for us, sticking up for us. And it's just like this is like my favorite story. Last year I just finished a trip. I was going into getting in my car in like the airport parking lot, and this guy, this middle-aged white man, was like, "You did it. You didn't let them break you. Don't let them break you. You got this." And it was just like, this is exactly what I needed to hear. Honestly, with traveling during the pandemic, on the plane and stuff like that, I don't know if he saw, of course he probably saw me and like with my luggage and stuff like that. And it was just like, this is exactly what I needed, right? He was just like, you keep going, right? He was like, you keep going. Don't let them break you. You got this, keep on. And I was just like, thank you, you know? But we need allies. And it's like, we as Black women, we can talk about it during like wine nights or like on Deb's podcast and stuff like that. But we really need our Black men to step up. We need our like some white women, white men, Latinas, Native Americans, Asian. We all need to come together, you know?
Yeah. And I think it really starts with us too.
Yeah.
100. And
once they see us.
Having each other's back.
Yeah,
I totally agree. I also know for myself, being during this pandemic, it has caused me to be diagnosed. I said it all the time with anxiety, minor depression. Mm-hmm. But and as I'm talking to my therapist, he's like, you know how many Black women have it, and it's not only because of the pandemic, but you have so much on your plate, and you're supposed to just smile and go through it, right? And Black women suffer anxiety more than white women do, but they only advertise it that white people go to therapy. Black people are so, I don't know why, fearful to go to therapy or to say they even need it. Mm-hmm. And that's something to me that's so alarming. Like, Jasmine, I don't know if you amongst your friends, is that something that you guys talk about? Like, girl, you need therapy.
I would say it depends. Like I would think like it always depends with like a low vibrational and high vibrational. It depends on where you are in life. Like, cause you'll have plenty of people where they're like, therapy, nah, we're not doing that. Like it's that stigma where it's like, oh, that's for crazy. We don't need that. But it's like, no, actually it's something good that you can do and talk about the issues that we all have. But then again, it's like we do have those moments where we kind of self-therapize ourselves, where we're in a group and we do talk amongst ourselves about what's going on. But a lot of times people don't want to do that. They don't want to tell each other's business, or they don't want to go out and say, oh, I have this going on, or make them feel weak, or whatever's going on. So I'd say not every young person is really doing it. They probably should. But there is the stigma that's with it, that's still that was put on us a long time ago from, our parents and their parents. Like, oh, there's nothing wrong with you. Just keep pushing along. But it's like, I feel like more people should go to therapy, especially for younger generation.
I agree. And I also think if you're not going to do it amongst like your girlfriends or your family, like even our jobs should, like when everything happened last year, lot of people's jobs were like, you need anything to the, to the Black employees, you need anything you want to talk, let's build a community, let's build. Year later, you're like, so what happened? Like, are we done now? You think because everything that was last year, we don't still need to check up on the Black women and people of color? Like, how are we doing? Like, it was like just for 1 year? I was actually talking to Carl about that. I'm like, what happened? Are we just, so we're gonna wait till someone else dies and then bring the group back together again? Right. I don't know if you guys had that at your job, but that's what I'm noticing.
I stress therapy a lot. And your job should offer that. It's called EAP, Employee Assistance Program. And they
my job does.
Okay, perfect.
My job also.
Yeah. And growing up in the Haitian culture, it's always like, oh, if something's wrong, pray about it, talk to God. And that's all good and all, but it's like, you need a professional, and I stress it. And okay, I don't know, ladies, I'm a flight attendant, so I probably put a lot of like work stuff in there, but it's like flight attendants, you probably won't see them. You probably won't see each other again for like another how many years, or fly with them one time. But it's just like in that little time working together, their whole life story, right? And then I stress, if I feel like they're going through something, I stress mental health. I stress going to therapy because it's crucial, it's essential, And so for Deb's viewers and stuff like that, really look into like your EAP, any kind of program that your job offers. Like, and this is one, work, and two, if you have insurance, it covers that. So really, really look into that.
And I also want to stress what Jasmine was saying too. If you can't afford it, or they're free now because of everything with the pandemic, you can find free ones. But have a good group of people in your circle. I think, Steph, we here, you'll see if I'm not okay, I'm not texting you. I'm not talking to nobody. I need to make sure I'm okay before I can give anything to anyone. And that is what I had to learn this last 3-4 months. Like, I cannot be there for you until I'm there for me. And now that I'm fully a woman, I separate myself from people who I just can't. If you're toxic, I'm going to tell you. Like, I literally have a friend I just met maybe the last 2 months, and the other day I was like, girl, you're toxic. And I was like, what? Like, after I said it, I'm like, oh my, like, I didn't think, but she is. Like, when she keep repeating, you're coming to me and asking me these questions about men and about what you should do in life, and I'm giving you answers that I'm repeating from my therapist. And I see you're not following them, and you're like, what's going on? I was like, you're toxic. And this is not going to work for me.
And speaking on that, it's like, because I used to be on the both sides, like before I went to therapy, I was like, oh, no, I don't need that. I'm not with that. That's for crazy. And then I actually went and I learned the techniques, and I learned all these things about myself, or why I act this way. And it's like, oh, okay. And then, like you said, you can now see, because now you're on the other side, oh, well, you're doing these traits, or you have these traits that it's toxic. And it's like, I'm working on trying to get rid of that. And now I could see that from like a distance. And it's like, okay, well, I did all this progress. I don't want to, reverse back.
Yes.
And people can't get upset with that, because it's just the truth. And it's like, if you do find anything wrong with that, it's like, you're just not there yet, but you have to be willing to want to get that way. And the only person that can do that is yourself.
Preach. Yes, that was my preaching. That's 100%. And my therapist told me the reason why I'm getting annoyed with her or other people that way is what you said. I'm on another side, and I'm looking at the old me. And that's not where I want to be anymore. So it's like, I can help you, but if you're not trying to, like, listen, I cannot help you no more, sister. Call
And
me
I
when
learned too that that's
Yes.
that low vibrational, high vibrational. It's like you're now operating on a higher frequency. So all those people who are there that are acting toxic or have these ways, they're on a low vibrational vibe. So it's like you're no
Yes.
longer on that frequency. So it's like you get annoyed and you can't do that because it's like I'm operating here and now you're here. So it's like I don't want to
Yes.
go back to here. I like
Exactly.
up here.
And my therapist also said, and that causes us to be the angry Black woman because we're such like in a rage. So we're like, anything could get to us. But when you're like at your high frequency, you're like, I'm disengaging. Thank you. And unfortunately, like Steph, you were obviously at a high frequency because you didn't on your neighbor, you didn't give her that angry
Oh yeah,
Black
100%.
woman.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's
Ooh,
a stereotype
every
that
single
they give
day.
us. But if it's a white man, he's not angry, angry white man.
No.
He's just speaking his mind. I know you have to experience that. Well, they would say, girl in the braids, right? That's another thing how they shout you out, right? Instead of just your name, like
with the dreads.
Yes.
Girl with the dreads.
Is that yours? But I know you work with doctors, right? So you must definitely see that where they could just say something, and if you did, it would be like, what?
Well, when I worked closely with them, like I said, I worked with them for 14 years before becoming a nurse. And that culture was a disrespectful culture where we, it was frowned upon to respond, and they were allowed to fly off. And, now that I've moved into a more professional area, they kind of keep that in check because the hospital doesn't want problems. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I will say I've had a close coworker stick up for herself, especially when you're dealing with different cultures of males, because some cultures, the males are dominant and they think that what they do at home or what they do within their culture is acceptable when they come into the workplace. And I definitely noticed that. And so my coworker expressed her, she defended herself in a particular situation to the doctor, and he came after her raise. And the raise was only like 45 cents. Okay. And he took the time, she's taking care of 2 boys. She has a husband, bills like all of us. And he actually convinced the manager to not grant her the 45 cents raise. And, that was a turning point for her and me. We talked about it at length. It was an eye opener. But I'm not sure that if someone else responded the way she responded, if the same action would have been taken. And what I do notice is that people look after their people, right?
Yes.
So in a job force, when you see the people getting promoted, like I have to go back to that 14-year experience because I learned a lot in those years about the dynamic that's out there. The racial dynamic, the dynamic of male and female. I got to experience a lot of it, and they promote each other. They might talk about each other like dogs, but guarantee they're promoting each other. And many of us are in the dust.
Yes, and then or you have to work twice as hard to get your foot in the door.
It happened to me when I started my job. I mean, we could stay on this topic forever. I have been a target. I probably will be a target again. Unfair pressure, unbalanced expectations as it relates to other people. Even in my current job, I was the only Black girl, only Black nurse hired in my cohort and the next cohort and the next cohort. And I got to see these people. And, it's not like that at every hospital. The culture is just that the people who are in positions to hire their own. They promote their own. And, we have to do the same. We can't get into positions of power and feel like we've arrived. We have to actually have a goal in mind. And part of that goal is you're not going to promote people based on race, but you're not in competition. We are not in competition with each other. And we have to remember that. We have to remember that in the workplace. We have to remember that in business. We are not in competition with each other. We have to stick together.
Yes.
And just to quickly touch on the angry Black woman. So here's my theory. Our culture, our roots are very, very different. Compare these things. I always think about if you've ever been to a non-black funeral. Just follow me. Okay. You can hear a pin drop. Okay. A pin will drop more than likely, because I've been to many, my coworkers. And then if you go to a Jamaican funeral, an African funeral, a Haitian funeral,
We say Haitian.
a Guyanese, they're passing out. People are falling. I mean, it's a totally. And I thought to myself, what is the difference? Are we just mourners and they're not, or what is it about us? And there is a commonality in all of us, that we are just strong personalities. We are emotional by nature. It's in our blood. We react strongly, and it doesn't mean we're angry, but it comes across as angry.
Yes.
And people don't understand that culture, that we have control over that. Even when I get my hair braided, it sounds like the ladies are arguing. They're not arguing. They're talking. They're talking. They have their loud on top of their lungs. Their voice sounds strong. It sounds like something going on, and it's not.
That's like
So
my mom when she's on the phone, speakerphone,
Yeah.
and does, and I'm like,
On top of their lungs, right?
yeah, and it's literally
Yeah.
her talking about the weather.
Yes.
Like,
even the languages sound strong.
yes,
If you listen to all the languages out there in the different ethnicities, like the Creole, like it sounds forceful. It's not soft. If I listen to a Nigerian speak,
Patois.
it's patois. It all sounds very, to someone else, an untrained ear, it sounds forceful. It sounds angry. They don't know, and they shouldn't place a label.
But we also have a reason to be angry. Like you said, we had enough.
Of course.
Right?
Enough is enough. Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on the day, the mood, and what you said. That it can trigger.
Yeah.
And if that happens, you're in the wrong, right?
Yeah.
Because you went left.
Exactly.
And they're never gonna be like, well, what did I say? Perfect example. This happened like years ago. In high school, I asked this kid a question. Granted, it was not right. And he called me a black bitch. And I said, what? And so I elevated, and he spit on me. And I didn't even. I retaliated. But when I went home and I told my mom, like, most likely you're gonna get a call, I'm gonna be suspended. And she was like, what did you do? And I'm like, I beat the hell out of this boy. She was like, what? I'm like, he spit on me and called me a black bitch. She was like, all right, so you want to go out to dinner tonight? Or like, what? Because that's what we're not going to do. We're not going to let no man, white man, say something to you and think it's okay. But she was like, but you're going to get in trouble. When I went to school the next day, I got in school suspension for a day. He was like, I have to do something. So this is what you're going to do. And you're going to go in the library. And I was like, okay. I had all 3 lunches. But even at the time, the dean knew, like, I did not do anything. I should have not asked that question, but it did not mean for him to call me a black bitch or to spit on me. But that's because I had someone who was understanding. If that was someone who was maybe racist, or he would have been like, that's sorry, Deborah, you're out of school, or something like that. And that's how I was 16. And that's when I realized, one, it pays to know, like, to be that black girl that's, hi, how are you? My name is Deborah, and not, yo, what's up? My name is Shaniqua. And I'm just saying there pays to be a difference sometimes. But also I was dealing with someone who knew, like, the right and wrong, not black and white, Yeah. And unfortunately, sometimes in life, like the 2 kids who were fighting, they're not looking at who's right or wrong. It's just black or white. You're black, you're arrested. Sorry. Without realizing it was the white kid who started the whole argument, and the black kid was defending himself. And that's horrible to me. We're almost ending the show, but I would like for us all to say one positive thing about ourselves. Ooh. Wait a minute. Look at that. Everyone froze. We'll go one by one. Jasmine?
Okay. One positive thing about myself. I would like to say that the journey that I've gone on from where I started, I'd say in 2020, going to therapy to where I am now and overcoming the doubt and just going out after my dreams and not giving up and not letting other people, you know, say things about me, get to me, and just holding my composure. I'm proud of myself for just the growth that I've had. And I just want to continue and spread the word to as many young people as I can.
Not one tear is gonna come from my eye. That was Stephanie, right? That was so good, Jasmine. I don't know what you went through, but I'm so proud of you. Beautiful. Look at you. All right, next song. Stephanie, go ahead.
One positive thing about myself, to keep being me. And despite, just keep being energetic, to continue to be the energetic Stephanie, the like fun, outgoing, not losing the good, you know, and just keep pushing. Like my cup says, keep shining, girl.
Okay,
Go
it's
ahead.
the Black Girls. We a girlfriend. Miss Beautiful Shani.
I will say when you ask the question or ask us to say one thing, first thing that came to my mind is I am resilient. I have been through much. I've had life experiences. I didn't know, God's willing, there'll be a lot more, but I'm resilient. I'm stronger than I think. And I know who gives me my strength. I have that belief, but I am resilient and I can make it through any situation, any challenge, any obstacle.
That's right,
Love
sis.
that. Unfortunately,
Right.
that was kind of mine, so now I gotta remix mine. What I would like to say about myself is that I'm being real. Carl, I'm sorry. I would like to say what I love about myself is that this is like breaking news. Stephanie, don't kill me for not saying nothing. I tried IVF and the first cycle did not work. And I'm proud of myself that I put myself through that, because for anyone out there who has done it or is ever wanted to, I lost 35 pounds. Going through it, I blew up. I am still not where I was. And the mental that it takes on you and the physical that it takes on you, I'm sitting here like, even Carl is like, how do you wake up every day and smile? Like nothing is wrong. Steph, you wouldn't know. I just been pushing through. So for me, what I'm proud of is what, you said about being strong and resilient, but more that I know God has a bigger plan and this is not the end. And I'm just so proud that I'm just still happy with life, right? Like, I know that I have to appreciate the present and all the good things that God has given me, and know that he has a story that's unwritten, and I trust him. Therefore, I trust myself. And I'm just excited to just be advocate for plus size women who are trying to go through IVF. Yay, look at us. We're your girlfriend. Okay, I always ask everyone one question before we go. If you could have a sit down with any celebrity before before we pass away, but alive or dead, who would it be and why? 1 second. Oh, you can't see I'm pointing to. Go. Anyone go.
Issa Rae for me.
Ooh.
It's a me season.
Issa Rae, she's so fun and just like she'd be so chill. We have a good time. I'm gonna go, and she see how she uplifts her community?
Yes.
She just got the keys to Compton. Was it Compton? Compton, right?
Yeah. Oh, just like her show. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. She just got the keys to Compton. So Issa Rae.
Anyone else?
Queen Latifah.
Ooh, I see it. I understand it.
Yeah, I just think that
she's beautiful.
Yeah, she's beautiful, and just the fact that how she's just elegantly progressed from her career from music and rap, and then having a seat at the table and going to the
Yes.
Oscars, and just
Yeah.
how she cover girl and everything that she's done is just like, just from a production and just like film business wise, she's just amazing.
Agreed.
So I would want to have a sit down with Cicely Tyson.
Mm.
Ooh.
She lived a long life, and both personal and in Hollywood. And I would just want to talk to her about her experiences and hear the stories of all that went on through the years.
Since we all chose, Black women, I won't say Britney Spears. But I will.
Britney, say Britney Spears.
No, I didn't. I would like to have a sit down with Maya Angelou.
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah, everybody want to think about that now. Yes, I would want to know about like her book, Why the Caged Bird Sings. My teacher gave that to me when I was in 7th grade. And he was like, if I ever do anything for you, it's to read this book. And I was like 12 years old. I'm like, what the heck is he giving me? And I remember reading it in 2 days. And I was like, this is the best book I ever read in my life. And then I just started like reading all about her and all her stories, her writings. And that's who I would just love to sit down with, everything that she went through in life and became this person she is now. Like, talk about resilience. That's who I would want to sit down and talk to. And just tell her, like, save a seat in heaven for me next to Selena.
Mm.
I gotta get my B&B on, girl. I gotta get the 1-2 steps. Don't play me. Well, I would like to thank you all so much for giving me your time. Stephanie is in Vegas, so really thank you for being on the same time with us.
Thank you so much.
I really appreciate you, bottom of my heart, sister. Jasmine, thank you for everything that you do for me, and thank you for making me shed a tear. And beautiful Shani, I thank you so much. You are elegant speaking. You sound so intelligent, and I'm proud of you for all your obstacles that you had to go through, man. And F anybody who doubts a strong Black woman. You know what I'm saying? And
thanks so much for inviting me.
For my shirt.
Hey.
Ooh, I like it.
I wore it for today, Steph. You were trying to play me. That's why.
Keep shining, sis.
Shining, yeah.
I was about to say
that. I'm taking my mom. Girls, be blessed, be great, be you, do you for you. And remember, we run the streets and run these pockets. Okay.
All right.
For women, do what you want to do. Good night, girls.
Have a great night. Thank you so much.
Everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.